2 minutes of gaming. I'm your host, Keenan. Who I'm with today.
Hey, everybody. Justin here. Pleasure to be here, Ken.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, obviously a brand new show. Everything is live. We're just going right at it. In addition to that, to kind of give you guys an idea of the format, it's going to be 2 minutes of each topic of gaming. And as you can see, we're going to start out first with Google Stadia. So at GDC, which I attended, which we'll talk more about, Google announced Stadia. And so for those who don't know, Stadia is a streaming online, like one integration service where you'll be able to stream your games right from your phone, from your laptop, desktop, and idea is that you'll be able to take it from your TV to your phone to your laptop seamlessly. So we'll start 2 minutes on the clock. Justin, what do you think?
I'm not really that impressed as the rest of the gaming community is right now. I'm probably one of those in the skeptical crowd at the moment because, one, let's look at it from this thing. Is that you're supposed to be able to take this thing everywhere, right? And it's a streaming service at the end of the day. Now, if I have a PlayStation 4, so I used to have PlayStation Now. And that streaming service is a hit or miss depending on what game it is. So for this thing to be able to operate high quality games, and I'm assuming at this time it's going to be PlayStation 5 or whatever the next Xbox is. And keep in mind, a lot of people are going to be using this. They're going to have some of the most strongest servers, the most strongest networks to be able to operate all this. So the concept is good, but at the same time, I need to see them to actually using the game. I need to see gameplay. I need to see someone actually doing this from the display more than just showing that little video that they showed of the concept of idea was going to happen. I'm skeptical too. And not to mention, what's the subscriptions going to be like? How much is it going to cost? Because this could be a GameStop killer. This could be a digital Steam Epic Game Store killer as well.
Yeah.
Because sooner or later, developers, publishers are going to opt out of going to stores directly and just say, you know what, we make more bank by charging people, let's say, $4 a month per game to play this game a month. So, I mean, I'm really skeptical of what's going to happen. Not to mention this is going to be on cloud. You have to think about hackers. You know, this data privacy, which is a big thing that's going on just not in gaming, but everywhere. So how are they going to implement all these things? So I need to see more, but I'm really excited about the concept, but I need to see more for me to be fully sold on what they're going for with that.
All right, so you heard the bell. That's 2 minutes. Just to kind of recap before we move on to our next topic, totally agree. But the one thing I'll say is I'll throw in is that we saw two things before we continue. We saw a company called OnLive. I don't know if you remember that, like 10 years ago. They tried this. It did not work. But I will say this, I'm with you. I think personally it's either going to be really change the way we live and the way we game, or it's going to be a complete bust. But if anybody can do it, it's Google. Speaking of Google, these big companies, let's go right into the next topic. So 2 minutes on the clock, Apple. I don't know if you guys heard, but Apple Arcade is coming to iPhones everywhere. So basically, to kind of give you a rundown of it, Apple is they're going to have like another subscription service to where you'll be able to get X amount of free games per month with this subscription service. The cool thing about it, the games will have no in-app purchases. It will have no microtransactions at all. It'd be like traditional old school games where it'd just be a game and you know what you got. So what do you think, Justin?
That's also another one I'm looking. Good idea, good concept. No microtransactions is always a win. But what type of games are they going to be? Are they going to be partnering with Sega? Are they going to be partnering with major studios, developers to get these games? Or are these all going to be original games? Or are they going to be the games that's already available on the iOS store? So either way, I say that's pretty good for those who are Apple users. If they could just pay a subscription a month, Like I said, same with the Google. It's kind of the streaming of games and the subscription is going to be the future of gaming. So if I say pay like $5 a month and I have the entire iOS gaming library available, that's a steal. That's something I can see. You just download it, you keep it there. I kind of like that idea of it.
They're gonna be exclusive though. They're not gonna do the whole like everything. It's just gonna be like I forget if they said 20 games or something like that, but it won't be anything like you'll get everything. It's not like a Netflix kind of thing. It's gonna be more like you'll get here's these cool 20 games, and then it'll show like another 20 games each month. So
kind of like what they do with the crates, but digital. Kind of like how they do like the crates. You know how they have those loot crates.
It's not random though.
Yeah, with I mean, for Apple users, that could work. I'm curious to see what happens with that.
You know what I'm going to say? We got 30 seconds left on the topic. As a developer, one thing they haven't really spoke about, and actually, it's funny, in a video that they showed, I actually met one of the developers that is in that video at GDC, which is so funny. But I'm more curious because I'm somebody who has 2 games, actually 3, I should say, with the demo on iOS store, Apple Store. My big thing is how are the developers going to get paid with this new model? So that's the bell. Let's go right into the next topic, which Justin is really excited about. So for those who don't know, Soulja Boy, he Soulja Boy. For those who don't know, a while ago he launched his own electronics line, I guess you could say, where he has his own console, allegedly. He has his own watches, putting everything in air quotes. Yeah. Now, people 3-4 months later, people still haven't got their items yet, and they paid. They already paid. So there was an email address at the bottom that says, email this, if you have any complaints, and no one's replying. So these people are just out of $100, out of $200. I don't know, whatever how much this junk costs. So obviously, I think it's junk. What's your thoughts, Justin? 2 minutes.
Well, I'm going to start something off. I'm going to probably do this every week. I'm going to do the Joker of the week, and this deserves a Joker type laugh.
I don't have to laugh this one. Yeah.
Unbelievable. First of all, 1, why would you buy this thing? 2, these gamers, I feel really, really, really sorry for you. I'm not calling you foolish, but I kind of am. You should know better. Especially if you're a hardcore experienced gamer, you should know better by now. 2, this guy has been in the news for weeks about selling systems that's technically not even his, illegal systems. He's been selling ROMs, and you guys are buying these ROMs, and you're not getting them. I don't really feel any remorse from you. This guy has no background or business practices. I don't get why anybody would have purchased this. He should have been, Nintendo put a cease and desist on him already, and he's still going with this. I just stop, Soulja Boy, for the love of all that's gaming. Stop already. You're done. Go back to music. Go back. I know that everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. They got to expand. I get it. Trust me, I do. Stop. As far as those people who paid for it, I don't know what to tell you. Dudes, it's ROM systems that you're getting. You're better off getting it legally from Nintendo, or you got better chance of buying the old systems on eBay or at your local stores, man. Seriously.
Justin, you're a lot nicer than me because I'm just going to say he's a disgrace to blacks in tech.
Wow.
I look at what he's trying to do, and I look at like somebody like Ray J. Ray J has a technology company. I'm not the biggest fan of his products, but it is his stuff. You know what I mean? Like he's not ripping it off. And all that being said, I can respect that. With Soulja Boy, and that's the bell for 2 minutes, but Soulja Boy is just a complete joke. I'm done. We're not going overtime for this guy. Next topic.
Sorry, Soulja.
On more of a serious note, EA laid off 350 people. We look at the closures of Telltale, which I'll talk about a little bit later more. And I feel like somebody else had a layoff recently too. What's your thoughts on this, Justin, the gaming industry?
This is becoming a common thread with studios just falling, and I'm thinking it's maybe due to the amount of costs that it takes these days to make a game. I mean, video games are costing the same as making a movie these days. Really, guys, like the most highest movies are minimum these days are like 100 million for like an Avengers blockbuster budget. You have these CEOs, which is disgraceful. These guys are getting bonuses, but they laid off 350 people. Like one thing I want to bring up, if you guys Google it, one thing that made Nintendo so great, their CEOs, their executives, they took a pay cut because they refused to fire or cut costs. They took a pay cut on themselves so the people that work for them can continue to work. That's
Yeah.
something that you would think EA would have done. 350 people are out of a job right now. It's disgusting, especially when I believe he got 15 million in bonuses, and their excuse was, "Oh, we're cutting costs, we're making shifts and changes." And I think Anthem didn't do the numbers they were really hoping for.
That's the real.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, it's not the developer's fault that a game doesn't sell. That's your management, that's your advertisement, that's your marketing. I mean, if the game is bad, yeah, that's the developers.
It could even, not to cut you, but it's got 30 seconds left on the clock. It could be a couple of things, and not even when a game, as somebody who has had games that failed, there's so many different things. It could be timing. It could be the development. It could be just the graphics, or it could be the gameplay. It could be marketing. Again, it could be so many different things, and it just sucks that like you said, they let some people go, but their CEO, and again, not to name names, and it's not really just an EA problem, but the CEO will be getting a nice bonus regardless of whatever happens, and it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Yeah, what's that?
It was our buzzer, folks.
Yeah, that's the buzzer. So, next topic, E3. So, for those who don't know from before, it's a kind of older topic, but we definitely wanted to talk about it because it's huge. E3 is a dead. Sony is no longer going to do a press conference, which is very heartbreaking for me. Nintendo, obviously, they've been not going there. I believe Activision is not going there either.
EA is the one that pulled out.
It was EA as well?
I think it was EA.
Sony did too.
Yeah, Sony definitely did.
Yeah, Sony, EA. No, I mean Activision from before. I think they've been years ago. So with the recent, EA, Sony pulling out, what's your thoughts on 2 minutes on the clock, them being gone?
Well, here's the thing with this. What's happening, what you're seeing, and I can tell you this from the press side of things for my website. What's happening now is that all of the major studios, all the major companies, everybody's want to host their own events. And what you're seeing with Sony, what they just did with the Sony Experience, they do the Sony Experience in New York. Nintendo never comes. They just send us a video. And people are pulling out. And not to mention, you got to think of the cost that it does to run the shows. Bringing people over, voice actors, stars. You have to pay all these people to make it a show. And it might be cost effective, and it might be easier for them to do things in-house. Sony's a big company. They have their own studios. They can do the event there. They have Sony Experience in New York. They can do it here. Microsoft is still going to be there. But the thing is, you lost Nintendo, you lost Sony, so that's 2/3 of the major big three that's not going to E3. So that's going to hurt E3's pockets, because otherwise you might as well just call it a Microsoft convention.
Not even just. I think the biggest thing for me is I understand why, if you're these huge companies, you don't want to share this week, right? You don't want to go on IGN or GameStop and then you see 100 different news topics, right? You're just one of them, right?
Exactly.
You want all the spotlight to be focused on that game so it can help itself. I get it, but I think this is so bad for the actual industry as a whole. I think having the casual USA Today, the casual press, the casual fans, all having that Super Bowl time, quote unquote, where you could, learn about so many different amazing games all at one time, and then have so many reveals, it brings so much excitement to it. E3, that's the buzzer. E3's been dying for a while now.
Yeah.
One way or another, and it's just really sad. And I think that it's going to get to a point where it's going to be completely dead. And we're going to keep having these little shows like PAX, which is going on now, and, GDCs and little Play NYC. We can have these little shows. We're going to keep getting exclusives. But I think the industry as a whole will suffer. And I think at some point, I hope the industry comes back together and say, we need this Super Bowl weekend. We need this huge thing. So next, Streets of Rage 4. So for those who don't know, it has been announced, obviously, a while ago. Took way too long. That's another story in itself. But nonetheless, are you excited for Streets of Rage 4 with the new recent videos? What's your thoughts on that?
First, where's Skate? That's my favorite character.
Yeah.
I hope he's not DLC.
Because right now, all they showed is Blaze and Axel, right?
Yeah. So where's Skate? That's all I gotta say. And this is not I want to play as the black guy representation BS. No, Skate has some ill ass movesets and he's a cool character. I just want to see Skate.
Well, he's integral part to the story too. If you look at his brother.
Yeah. I'm not really a huge fan of the art style. Call me old-fashioned. I would have really loved them to really just do what they did with Sonic Mania and stick to the graphical look of the game. But it looks like it's at least being true to the spirit of what Streets of Rage is. So that I can say I will definitely check it out. I'm not going to write it off yet. I want to actually see more of the gameplay, see what they have to offer. But it looks pretty solid. It looks better than 3, but then again, that's not saying much because 3 is a piece of trash.
Kangaroo, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, Kangaroo, robots. They jumped the shark with that one. But this one looks really good. I hope there's more characters in this. And if the characters are not appearing in this, I need an explanation story-wise why the other characters are not in the game. Otherwise, it's a 2-character Streets of Rage. That's like, it's not a good buy for me. If not,
honestly, I'm hoping they kind of take the Street Fighter 4 route where they look back at the mistake they made and then they say, you know what, we're going to give you all the characters that you love in this one game, which is what Street Fighter 4 did. Street Fighter 5 is another story. But Street Fighter 4, you know how I feel about that. But Street Fighter 4, they really went back to 2 and looked at it and said, we're going to put everybody in here that you guys love. And so I'm hoping that Street Rage 4 does the same thing. But my biggest complaint right now isn't the graphics. I actually reached out. I actually am friends with the graphics artist online, and I actually spoke to him recently. I actually like the graphics. I like the art. But what I don't like is the music. And so for me, Street Rage 2 and 1, the music is so iconic. I literally have it on my phone right now. You know what I mean? Like, that's how iconic it is. It is so good. I watched a documentary about how the music was made, and it's unbelievable, man. So I don't like the music so far for the trailers that they're showing. But again, it is still trailers, so I can't, that's not really in-game music, but that has me concerned. So, but next topic, Sega. Sega Genesis Mini has been officially announced by Sega. This is, I believe, the first official Sega Mini. I know there's one that came out last year was made by somebody else. I guess.
Yeah, that was trash.
Yeah, and so this one's coming out with 40 games. I believe it was $79, and one was $79 or $69, depending on how many controls you get. 40 games packed in. They announced, I think it was 10 of them so far. Different games for different regions: Japan, Europe, and America. What's your thoughts on this? And do we even need it?
Definitely do not need it, and I'm going to tell you why. Because they just released the Sega Mega Collection on the PS4 and Xbox.
Actually,
they're constantly releasing collections. So the only difference is that you get to play the games with a Sega controller on a system that emulates just like the original Sega Genesis. The only difference is you're not going to be blowing the cartridges. It's just kind of a waste of money. It would have been smarter if they did a Dreamcast Mini, a Sega Saturn Mini, something that has not been released. Like, when's the last time they actually released a Sega Saturn game or their library? Dreamcast, same thing. We were supposed to get a whole bunch of the Dreamcast games to come to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. They stopped that for some reason. And it doesn't make sense that they're constantly focusing on Sega Genesis when they have an entire IP of other consoles that they have done that have not had any love. Maybe it's a licensing issue, but I don't understand why they didn't decide to go Dreamcast, which I think would sell more anyway, and or Sega Saturn, which is something that's basically a lost library that a lot of people haven't even experienced. Well, so I thought it would have been a smart idea to do that. I don't think it's worth buying, especially if they keep releasing the collections.
Yeah, no, I actually agree. I mean, they released a collection for 360 and the PS3, and that was a really good collection. I forget how many games was on it, but it pretty much had every game that I wanted, except for like a couple maybe. But it was so good, man. I played the hell out of that, and honestly, I still have it, and I'm good, you know. It would have to be some really cool games on this new one for me to buy it. But yeah, honestly, I probably won't. But dude, I'm totally with you. I feel like, and that's the buzzer before we go, I feel like they do need a Dreamcast. That's an easy sell, easy money. And they can pick games in there that people really haven't played a lot, like Power Stone, like Skies of Arcadia, even though that's not my favorite game, but I know people love that. But they can pick so many games that they've been kind of neglecting, as well as the games that they show love to, like Jet Ground Radio, Shenmue, etc. But the Saturn one is harder because, like I said, I was at GDC. I took a course about how to archive your current games. And I archive my games, and I do things to preserve them. Sega seems like they did not do that to any Saturn games. So those, from my understanding, a lot of those games, the source code is so lost. But it would be really, really cool because there's some cool Saturn games that I always tell you about that would today still be fire. So next topic's a little different, Justin. We're gonna change it up. Favorite indie game or indie loves? Anything you got indie you want to shout out right now?
I gotta check my Steam, man. There's a whole lot of
We'll do one or two a week, right? We're saving for next month.
Right now, well, I'm reviewing a visual novel, which I actually do have to check my Steam, but I want to actually give a shout out to this horror game you guys can check out. It's called Through the Woods. I'm actually playing that right now. It's something I had on my Steam, but it released on the PlayStation 4 a while back. It's a nice, cool horror game. Shameless plug. I'm still playing Save My Cereal.
Thank you. I was going to play your cereal.
Well, yeah, your game, which is pretty cool. Through the Woods is basically it's a Norse mythology horror game, which is about a mother who lost her son in the woods, and the son's kidnapped, so she has to literally go through these monstrous woods to try to find her son. It's a pretty good narrative story. Acting is so nice gameplay. And I'm playing another indie game, which is it's on my PlayStation 4. It's a horror game. Give me 1 second. Sorry for not looking at the camera, folks. It's called Home Sweet Home. And that's that's pretty decent. It's a nice horror. I'm a horror gamer, guys, so definitely playing as much horror games as I can right now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just going to take this moment. There's a lot of indies that, and just to kind of give a little transparency, I want to open this up to other indies out there as well. We want to invite you guys on the show. So this would be a good moment for you to showcase, what you're working on. So we're going to start. I'm like I said, big in the indie community. I reach out to a lot of these guys already. I'm going to bring some guys on the show just to kind of give you guys a heads up on this segment here. So but for me, I just been playing my own game. Save My Cereal is out. Check it out on iPhone. You can check it out on Android. It's all there. So we'll move on to the next topic. Kind of transitioning into 2 minutes on the clock. What are you playing now besides those indie games you mentioned?
Okay, what I'm playing right now, still doing Resident Evil 2. I'm on Leon's B Story, which is pretty good. I just got NBA 2K19 finally because I have to beat my friend's streak. And playing WWE 2K19 as well because I have a lot. I'm preparing for a big game night on April 20th that I'm going to stream on Otakus and Geeks YouTube channel. So I'm basically trying to sell the score for a lot of my friends. So I'm basically training to face everybody. But I'm mostly playing NBA 2K, WWE 2K, Home Sweet Home, Resident Evil 2. I'm playing a lot of games actually, and actually trying to beat Mega Man, the Mega Man Legacy Collection, which is a headache in itself.
Don't even get me started on Mega Man. I can tell you 100 stories about that game, but that's for another show. I mean, right now, actually, I'm gonna go back to. I just finished Walking Dead, the finale. Season,
How was it?
the last episode of the finale, final season. It was really, really good. Very emotional. Very emotional. I would
I have
say
to buy it.
don't spoil anything. Don't go online, everybody, and look at it. I'm not going to spoil anything here. But I was very, it was very emotional, and I was very happy too because the developers, and this is not really spoiling anything, but they did something really nice for their team in the game, which is something I never seen actually before in a video game. So, and if you know the whole story of what's going on with Telltale, it's really nice what they did. So the fake story of Clem and all like that's a really good and that's really emotional. And then the real story of what happened to the team, they didn't really tie them in, but they mentioned both. Really interesting. So I check that out, guys. But I'm gonna go play God of War after this too because I'm actually at the end. I'm finally about to beat it. Thank God. So. All right. Last but not least, what are you hyped about? What future releases are you hyped about coming out?
That's the crazy part. I'm in a dry spell right now with gaming. There's nothing really.
Backlogging.
Yeah, I'm more backlogging right now. There's nothing really screaming to me to go out and buy. I guess it's gonna be Days Gone.
You took the words out of my mouth, man. Because like I said, I posted a lot about it on my Instagram story for Side B Gaming, and it was really cool, that game, and it was refreshing to see like a zombie story that involved crazy zombies. You know what I mean? It kind of felt like State of Decay, but more polished and State of Decay. I mean, it is. I don't want to say more open world, but I felt like things mattered a little bit more, and it wasn't as narrative based. It just felt like it was more like skill upgrade. And for me, I really wanted to invest in that game for the game economy. So I'm looking forward to that, man. That's going to be a cool game. That's probably going to be my next purchase and probably my last purchase for a while, like big purchase I could think of. Yeah. So, all right. Well, any last words before we wrap up?
Yes. Yes. Guys, just stay tuned for more what we're gonna have. But you can also follow me on my Instagram, which you can see Imagine Art J, or you can follow my comic at Cry Hero Comic, or you can follow my visual novel at Heart to Heart _VN. So, and just stay tuned for what we have in store.
Heart to Heart is looking real good, so definitely follow that. But yeah, just follow me. You guys know at sidebgaming.com. I'll put the links and everything, all of our Instagram accounts, into the description as well. But look out for 2 Minutes of Gaming as well. We're gonna, like I said, we're recording it live, but we're gonna go fully live as well at some point. So look out for that. And Save My Cereal available now. Die in the Dark is in a lot of bundles as well. So look out for that as well. So thanks again, Justin.
Later days.
That's the bell. We're out, guys.
Peace.